Hello and welcome to my look back at patch 12.6 in League of Legends. I've done this for all 6 patches so far now. I'm going to have a cumulative video up at some point this week. I'm gunning for tomorrow, but no promises. It takes a little bit of work. If you haven't watched one of these videos before, I keep track of the matchups within a vacuum in the League of Legends major 4 regions. And I, look at, what were the win rates, what were the most common matchups, and see how the meta might be shifting over the split and then the split as a whole. Obviously, 12.6 was only played in the LCS, so there isn't a lot of information here. So instead of doing what I did before, constantly changing the board because there are multiple matchups that we could go over, these are the matchups that were, common in the LCS during the playoffs. If you haven't watched one of these videos before as well, usually I have a lot of information with each matchup on the board. I have who had the higher win rate in the matchup. What does it look like in solo queue at a plat and challenger level, but no matchup occurred at least 10 times, so I did not include that information in here. Sorry about that pause. So, if you want to look back and see the other videos, I did a 12.5 just over the weekend because the LPL we're still on 12.5 through Saturday, and that is a better indication of the type of video that this usually ends up looking like. This is just the LCS. The other 3 regions never even played on this patch at a pro level. So, also, if you like League of Legends content, obviously you're here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I do daily content across, all 4 major regions. There's something every day. Today, not only am I doing this video, but I'm also going to preview Red Candid from CB Lull. When they go to MSI, I'm going to, do a little preview of what they look like going into it, what their players' international experience might be. I did that for Saigon Buffalo yesterday. I had them 11th out of 11 teams. Red Candid 10 out of 11. So, but you're here for this, if you're here. Top lane, clearly it was the Ornn meta we discovered towards the end of the LCS split. Play Ornn, you win the game. Play scaling, safe, and you take guys like Summit out of the game. And that's what they did. Ornn was a high prio pick, picked into Gwen, Gangplank, and Aatrox. As you see here, it's all Ornn in top lane. Aatrox was a tank counter. Gangplank being a more skilled matchup, and Gwen as well. Jungle, you see Jarvan here 3 times. Jarvan was high prio. Jarvan had a very high win rate on this patch in the LCS. He did during the spring split too. Just that hard CC was hard to ignore. Nocturne also a common pick. Obviously the ultimate providing a 5-second stun to the opponent pretty much, in addition to possibly getting a kill. So it makes sense that Nocturne also high prio. We did not see it a lot in the other regions, but it was a high prio pick in the LCS. Lee Sin, Viego, Graves also on there, peppering them in. Lee Sin was either pick or ban in most cases. Lee Sin was very strong on 12.5. If you didn't, like I said, watch that video, Lee Sin was very strong. And the meta was very clear on what 12.5 was in the jungle across the 4 major regions. And it was actually really interesting to look at because, you really could see what a video like this can show you that you may not realize without looking at how often matchups occur and what the win rates are. Mid lane, not a lot really occurring. We had Ryze Victor, standard, control mage matchup. We saw at the end of 12.5, Ryze started to gain prio over Ahri, and Ahri was falling out of the meta. Ryze, answer Victor because control mage makes sense. Doesn't match the roaming, but matches the late game power. And then there was nothing else that really happened often. We had 5 different combinations happening twice, so I wasn't going to list them all. That's more of a, that's not a meta thing. That's more of a, okay, well, maybe a player just likes a champion more than others. Bot lane, Zeri, common pick. Zeri got nerfed, causing Jinx to become high prio, and if Zeri was laughed up, it was picked. So, Zeri versus Xayah, I believe Xayah really took advantage of that. Xayah had a strong win rate against Zeri in those 5 matchups. And Lucian, Lucian versus Zeri, we saw Lucian Nami a few times this playoffs. So it was a big deal having Lucian in there a few times. It was a different thing, a little bit of pizzazz in the bot lane. Didn't work, but pizzazz nonetheless. And good old Jinx Aphelios never leaves us. It's still there, happened 4 times. It definitely was the most common matchup across all 5 roles in the League of Legends ecosystem in Spring Split. It was the handshake of handshakes all split long. Support, similar Leona Nautilus, the handshake. It made sense. If Leona Nautilus were available on first rotation, one took one, the other took the other, and that was pretty much that. It was just Leona versus Nautilus. And then if one of them was banned or both were banned and we waited till the second rotation, Tahm Kench or Nada was also it was not a very common matchup, but was the next most common, happening 3 times. I mean, there weren't a lot of games in the LCS playoffs because EG ran the table the way they did. I mean, really, if you think about it, EG going 11-1 or 12, they went 12-1. I mean, theoretically, you could have went 12-8, so we lost probably 7 games. I mean, at most, because EG ran the table the way they did, and maybe these look a little different. I mean, I don't think we get to a 10 in anything, but maybe we see, more variety with these picks. But EG just ran the table. I mean, they did very, very well. So if you didn't watch that series and you just kind of, got hearsay about it or even looked at the, scoreboard or whatever, and we're like, oh, so Danny had 5 or 6 kills or Impact did this or whatever. I do a League of Legends roundup as well every, series that occurs in the 4 major regions, which I'll also do for MSI. And I covered the series. I think the video is like 7.5 minutes long. I uploaded it after the series on Sunday. Gives you a breakdown of what happened. I go through each game, giving you the highlights, key moments of what happened, if you like that sort of stuff. But that's pretty much it for this video. Later today, like I said, I'll have my CBLOL Red Candid preview for MSI, my road to MSI. If you missed that video, that also came out last week. Just goes over what I planned on doing for the next 2 weeks, which included this video and the patch video that occurred Saturday and whatever else I plan on doing. So thank you for watching this video. Like the video if you like it, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you come back for more content.